If you own an air fryer, promise me you'll make these garlic Parmesan crusted potatoes. I'm showing you how easy it is to make these soft and buttery on the inside, but crispy on the outside. With a simple garlic butter, seasoned oil rub, and grated Parmesan cheese, your air fryer can cook these up in less than 15 minutes without heating up your entire kitchen. My husband recently admitted that these are his new favorite way to eat potatoes and even satisfies his craving for French fries. Now, you've probably seen these baby potatoes at the grocery store, and you probably thought they were really cute, but you weren't quite sure what to do with them. They come in a variety of colors, but my favorite is the red potato. They have the lowest glycemic index of all the potato varieties. And you can leave the skin on in this recipe, which increases the nutritional value. So you'll start by taking about 12 of your favorite color of the baby potatoes, and you'll want to rinse and dry them. And then we'll set those aside. We're gonna start by making a really simple garlic butter. And we'll start with 1/4 of a cup of butter, and you'll just wanna soften that to room temperature. And then I'm going to add 2 cloves of fresh garlic. I'm just going to use my garlic press and simply press that garlic down into the butter. Now, you could also use refrigerated garlic if that's all you have on hand, or you could even substitute with a teaspoon of garlic powder if that's all you have. But I have to tell you, there's no substitute for freshly pressed garlic. That already smells incredible. So we're gonna go ahead and just stir this up into our butter. Now we can set that aside. Next, we'll want to grate some Parmesan cheese, and you'll want to use a zesting grater so that you can have a finer shred of the cheese. And I find the smaller shred just makes it a better bite. Now, you could also use a pre-shredded Parmesan cheese, but it has a cellulose wrapping on it to keep it from sticking together, and I find that keeps it from melting as nicely as the fresh grated Parmesan cheese does. So we're just gonna grate about 1/2 cup of cheese. And then next, we just want to trim up some fresh parsley. And if you don't have fresh, you could definitely use dried. I'm just going to chop up about a tablespoon of fresh parsley. And this is going to add delicious flavor and a really beautiful garnish on the potatoes. Next, we're going to prepare a very simple little oil bath or rub for the potatoes. And we're going to start with just about 1 tablespoon of your favorite oil. I like to use extra light olive oil. Then we're going to add some very simple seasoning, which includes 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then you can go ahead and just shake this around to mix it up. And now we can bring in our potatoes. So you'll want to just simply slice them in half. I'm going to make a couple very simple little score lines diagonally in each potato and dump them in the bowl. Now that we have all of our potatoes sliced in our bowl, we're just gonna go ahead and give this a shake, and that will evenly coat all the potatoes with the oil and the spices. It's also #satisfying. Now that we've prepared all of our ingredients, we want to get our air fryer ready. And depending on your air fryer, you might have a little removable tray, or you might have a removable basket. So in my case, I have the tray. And so what I'm going to do next is take a sheet of aluminum foil, and we're going to create kind of like our own little tray liner to go inside of the air fryer. I'm going to take some foil, and you'll want to make it twice as wide as your air fryer. There we go. And one side of your foil will be shiny, and the other side will be dull. And the dull side is the nonstick side. So we're going to fold this in half with the nonstick side on top. And then placing this over our tray, we know what size it will be, and we're just going to fold up about 1/2 inch all the way around. And this is going to create a nice little lip that's going to hold in all of our melted butter. So now we have a little tray that we know is going to fit inside of our air fryer. Now we can take our amazingly aromatic garlic butter, and we're going to plop that right onto our tray, and then we're just going to gently spread that around. I wish you could smell the rich garlic butter aroma that's in my kitchen. And having this foil tray will make our cleanup so much easier afterwards. I love those kinds of hacks. And it's much easier to do this step with the tray outside of the air fryer basket. And now we're going to sprinkle on some coarse sea salt. Now, of course, you could use regular salt, but I find that the coarse sea salt just has an extra rich flavor to it that tastes fantastic with potatoes. So we're just going to sprinkle this on. So we'll probably end up with about, a couple teaspoons of salt. All right, now we're going to take 1/2 of our Parmesan cheese, and then we'll go ahead and sprinkle that around on our tray. And you'll want to keep the cheese a little bit more towards the center, not all the way out to the edges, because sometimes the outer edge can get a little bit extra crispy depending on your air fryer. Now we can take our cute little potatoes and we're just going to arrange them face down on top of our buttery, cheesy goodness. So we want to put them nice and close to each other. Yes, this part is a little messy on your fingers, but I promise it will be worth it. And having your fingers smell like garlic is definitely not a bad thing. You can go ahead and just move them around so that they all fit in there nice and snug. They all get to be besties in the air fryer. Now my air fryer comes with a removable tray and it has this little loop on it. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it upside down so that that loop is underneath so it doesn't raise up the potatoes in our tray. And then now you can easily just lower your tray down into your air fryer basket. And then you'll want to make sure your little edges are folded up to be able to catch all that melting butter. And then we can go ahead and give it just a little dash of pepper on top. And then now we simply insert our tray into our air fryer. If your baby potatoes are on the small side, you'll want to set it for about 10 minutes. Whereas if your potatoes are on a little bit of the larger side, you'll want to set it for 12. Mine were a little bit in between, so I'm gonna go ahead and set it for 11 minutes at 400 degrees. And then we hit start and the air fryer does all the work for us. All right, our air fryer just beeped after the 11 minutes and those look incredible. So now we're gonna go ahead and take our fresh chopped parsley and we're gonna sprinkle that around on top of our potatoes. That's gonna add such a beautiful green color as well as flavor. And then we're going to take the rest of our Parmesan cheese and we're going to sprinkle that around as well. And then we'll simply put this back inside the air fryer. And then we'll let it run for an additional 2 minutes at 380. Now I've owned several air fryers over the past 2 years and this is by far my favorite. And that's because it has a window on the front and a light that you can turn on so you can see what's happening inside. Because so much of air frying is sometimes guesswork of knowing when something is done and it just makes it so easy. So I've included a link in the description below if you'd like to check this one out. Our potatoes are done and so we can go ahead and pull this out. And in those last 2 minutes it was able to crisp up the cheese that we'd sprinkled on top. And because we used foil, we can reach in and just very carefully grab the corners and pull out our little tray of potatoes. Oh my goodness, those look so amazing. You can see that the skins are all nice and crunchy. And then if we flip it over, oh my goodness, look at all that crunchy Parmesan cheese. And then we flip it over, we have a perfectly cooked, soft potato on the inside. And then it's all crunchy on the outside. I think that just made my stomach growl. I'll go ahead and scoop up some of these onto my plate. Garlicky butter mixed in with the Parmesan cheese. And now for the best part, it's probably hot. Wow, that tastes incredible. That was like bursting with flavor. I get all the delicious seasonings and the crispy outside of the potato, and then having that crunchy Parmesan cheese on top just takes it to another level. Now my absolute favorite way to enjoy these is with my homemade ranch dressing. I'm gonna pour a little bit of this into a bowl, and then you'll just have to decide if you want to use a fork or just go in with your fingers. So I'm just gonna go with my hands. Oh, look at that, with all that amazing cheese. Okay, let's see how we can do this and be somewhat ladylike. Dip. That's creamy and savory and amazing and salty. Seriously, a potato has never tasted so good. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my kitchen to make these Parmesan crusted potatoes. And if you haven't made them yet in your air fryer, you are in for a treat. And if you don't have an air fryer yet, this is one more really good reason why you might want to invest in one. If you'd like to see the complete recipe card for this video, please visit my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else who has an air fryer that might not have tried these yet, or someone else who loves French fries but might benefit from a healthier option, then please share this video with them. And I cannot wait to have you with me again in my kitchen next time.